Good afternoon. My name is Joellen Clark-Peterson. I'm the director of the Arcata Chamber of Commerce, and I'm pleased to be here with Beautification of the Year nominee. You don't recognize her, Alex Stillman.
You don't want me to say my name,
Oh,
Alex
sure,
Stillman?
yes. She's confirming it. It's no joke. She's not an imposter. This is really her. And as many of you know or maybe have heard, she's a great appreciator of beauty and has brought a lot of beautifying abilities and dedicated hard work to improving Arcata piece by piece in many ways, and we'll find out about that in a moment. She's also, through these avenues, been a key player in Arcata and the county's economic development, and so there's lots to talk about. It's going to be very challenging to get it all in. I'm sure there's going to be so many questions that I'm not asking, but we'll get a little piece of Alex Stillman here today with us. So thanks for making time to
You're very welcome.
visit. I know that you helped bring the California Main Street program to Arcata. You were part of Arts Arbor Arcata, upgraded an important structure on the plaza that had been burned down for 20 years, brought the Garden Gate to us, brought Mount Trashmore into the marsh and water wastewater system, brought Godwit Days here.
Well, I actually didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't actually
Very
bring
long
Godwin
list.
Days here. The city of Arcata wanted an economic development kind of tourism program, and they came up with Godwin Days because in the spring is when we have the major migration happening, and also in the fall. But that's why we have Godwin Days. I just became involved with it when it became part of Main Street. Took it over and managed it, and I was on the Main Street board, and I said I would become involved in that part.
Okay. And so how did you, do you have a personal interest in birds and beauty?
Well, I have an interest in economic development. I have an interest in making things happen and work, and it's been good to watch it grow. And I act as chair for it, and I just think that's just one of the many things I've done over the years. And I think one of the things I really like a lot is the Phillips House Museum, because that was going to be a recreation offices for the city of Arcata when we acquired that property in the 80s, and we were able to redo that. And the Phillips House represents one of the earlier houses built in Humboldt County and in Arcata for sure. And so all of that sort of, I have an interest in redoing historic buildings and interest in how things look, and that is why I've done so many houses. And then started working downtown, was able to pick up some property and empty property and also vacant property and rehab that, and I have partners on some of it, and some of it I've done by myself.
And I believe you came here in 71 from San Francisco.
Yes.
And which influenced your interest in historic preservation?
Well, in San Francisco, when I moved here, they were getting ready. In San Francisco, they were doing Giagelli Square, and they were talking about the cannery, and they're going to be rehabilitating those for multi-use projects. And when I came here, they were taking down the old City Hall, which was on the corner of 9th and G, and for a parking lot. And they said that building wasn't worthwhile keeping, but it was a beautiful commercial Victorian architectural building. There's pictures of it when you walk first into the city manager's office. It's right there on the wall. If you look to the left, you'll miss it. And that all just sparked my interest, being involved in the first survey that they were doing about Victorians being lost. So when I moved up here, I started looking around, and I could find a lot of empty buildings, buildings that had one thing or another, housing. This is actually where I started. And when I got elected to the city council, we just built a house in West Haven, but I couldn't live there. I had to live in the city. So we found this one house. It took us a while, and we finally bought that. It was my first project on 6th and J. I don't own that anymore. And so I just sort of found one thing after another here and there, and redid them.
Alex was telling me earlier before the video man got here, Art and Jody, that someone once told you, give her a cardboard box and she'll revitalize it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that was the building inspector. Because, they would look at them and think, just wipe them out, take them away. There's really no use for them. But they tell our story of our community. And if we don't want to look like anywhere in America, because that's what, Valley West has that tendency, and that was under construction in these late 60s and 70s. And so then you have this area all over the United States that all looks the same. And that's why it's important to maintain your historic downtowns And so you have a sense of character. So when you're growing up, you realize there is a place, and it's just not like every other McDonald's, even though they changed those there now, so they don't all look the same anymore.
So do you have advice or things you've learned from working on revitalizing and working with real estate and planning and for the future, or do you have maybe warnings or things we should all be aware of as we keep moving into the future with?
Well, I just think you have to pay attention to what you think is important, and the other thing is opportunities are always there, and you have to be open to opportunities, and you just never know what's going to happen. I've had so many opportunities, and that's why we have sculptures in the downtown, and that's why we're able to get the bulb outs landscaped, and Phillips House was an opportunity. Just all of a sudden you look at it and you think, oh, this could happen, and you do it, and you get involved in it. And that's how the California Main Street program came to California, because I'd heard about it, and there were two of us that were interested in it, and I knew I could do part of it, get it written, and he knew his council could get it passed because they were so tight with the governor. So you just don't know how things will play out, and who your partners are going to be.
Maybe you've mentioned some of these, but what are some of your most memorable and satisfying accomplishments?
Probably the Arcata Marsh would be one. That was quite something. The California Main Street program, that was so much fun, lobbying for that, and all the opportunities that came up. And then there's just, I don't know, there's always something fun every day. Something's happening. Right now I'm working on different things with the airport, because I'm on the airport advisory committee. You just never know. So whatever, and what it is that I'm not a specialist, which is I'm a generalist. I'm a connector. So if you told me something and you were in need of something, then I might come up with your connection for you. So I'd say, oh, okay, we can put that together. So I think that's been an advantage for me.
So yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, when I first got on the Arcata City Council in '72, I was used to running events, telling everyone what to do. And I all of a sudden realized, probably that's when I got into, you have to have partners, because I always had to have two other people that would agree with me. It took three to do anything. You had to have a majority. And so that's that's how things work. You have to have a sense of people that want to go in the same direction, and then you have the motivation to make things happen.
So in all of your endeavors, what are the common threads when you look back at it all? This is probably the common thread. My mother always said you have to be involved in your community and give to it. I did. I have. I'm still doing that. And my father was involved in politics, and so I think that's how I ended up getting on the city council, because all of a sudden I had professors telling me, oh, you should run for city council. You're on the right side of all the things that need to happen in Arcata. And so that made it happen. It's just chance and involvement and keeping your eyes open. Well, that's maybe a great place to end. Yes. Thank you so much. I hope people have enjoyed getting to know Alex as I have, and we look forward to keep seeing all of your movings and shakings that you.
Or trying to figure out what it was. Because so many are integrated, so you don't know what was, what we did, what things look like, and what they look like now. It's very hard to see that difference. People don't realize it. They think it's always been like this.
Right, that was one question I wanted to sneak in, was how has Arcata changed over the years? Because what I see now looks like, I think it's been like this forever.
No, it hasn't.
Okay.
It's taken hard work, and we've been able to do it, and groups of people, and part of our Arcata Downtown Business Community, which now uses the Main Street program, they worked really hard in the very beginning in order to start changing around, getting people to think about coming. The journal was only once a month. We always had a ad on the back page talking about all the things you could do in Arcata. And we had blue flags, and so it was just sort of blue flags hanging on Sundays. No one was open on Sundays. And so we started opening from 12 to 4. And that, motivation, they go to the marsh, go to the forest, do this, and then you could come downtown too. So it was all this stuff, and Julie Fulkerson has been a big player.
Thanks again.
You're
Yeah, it
welcome.
was so awesome. Beautification Award nominee #1. We'll have a couple more for you next week. The annual dinner to celebrate the business community and the nominees is February 25th, and another month. And hope to see you there at the community center. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.